See if this is any better. It's still bloody. Oh, I'm about to give up this, guys, honestly. Is it still bloody with you? Is it better, Katie? I just don't know why it's so bloody on here. I'll just have to go through with it on the live, and if we can't see it, then I will just do another video and talk through it without all the chatting. Is that any better, Nicole? I might be just because my computer's too close to anyway, we're just going to go through. So yeah, so we have the old planner here, and it is a substantial thick planner, and then we have our new one, and as I said already in my first or second outtake, it is a little bit thicker. So when you get your planner, if you order one, you won't get all this colour. I've taken that away because I didn't like it. If it was all uniform it would be fine, but it's just not, so I've taken all that away. Again, you won't get all the colours on here, but it is quite a bit thicker. And that one, this one I think was 260 pages, and this one's 292 pages, I believe. So thank you all for coming back. I really, really do appreciate it. Any questions while I'm doing the live? I will try and answer them, and if I can't answer them immediately, Alan will write them down for me, and I'll answer them again later on in a different, but we should be able to answer most of them while we're going through it. So, excuse me. Okay, so as you can see, the front cover is pretty much the same. I've changed the font a little bit, changed the colour, because I'm just really in love with this pastel colours just now. And again, it's the same on the back with a little message from me. I'm not going to let you read that just now. If you want the book, you can read it. It's alright, Alan, just leave her. Floss is really into the telly, so she is kind of getting a bit excited. If she spots the laptop, she might jump up at me too, so bear with. Which I think she just has. Emily says hi, Alan.
Hello.
He doesn't want to speak on the camera, so but you've got a hello. So anyway, so we've got the first page. The whole book is going to be completely undated, so you can use it any year. But obviously I want you to use it this year because I will probably bring out another one next year. So yeah, and Nicole, they should be with me very soon, and I'll start getting them out, but well, I'll keep you in suspense for a little bit longer. So this page is another message from me. It's kind of similar to what was in the last one because there's not much else we can say. The yearly bill tracker is basically, in my head, this is what I envision, but you can use it for anything, any way you want to use this book, use it yourself. Emily says, woohoo, finally got him to speak. So yeah, you can use any of these pages in any which way you want, but I'm going to explain to you how I would use them. Okay, so for this one, we have in my head, it's going to be for like your bills that come out every month, or even if it was like every couple of months or once a month even, that you would mark it in, and then you would mark in when it's due. So if it was every month, you would just write monthly. If it was like January and July, you would put in January, July, what it is, the amount you have to pay, the payment method. So most would be sort of direct debit or standing orders, but you might want to pay online or anything like that, and you can put it in this column. And then here it says January, February, March. All that is coming out of the planner. When you have it, it'll be completely blank, so that you can start at any point in the year. So if you decide not to start it till April, then this box you can put April, and you can work the way through the rest of the year. So I've decided to completely remove them, and that's basically it. So you just tick off when you've paid it or when it's come out of your bank, just to keep a track. For me, I found the council tax was really good because I didn't know when my 2 free months were, because I changed them from the standard whenever they are, and I now think it's November and December, or December and January, so that was good. As I say, any questions, please ask immediately, and I will do my best to answer as we go. So I'm just going to turn the page, but I don't need to, you can see. Please let me know if you can't see or anything, if you want me to go through anything again as well, twice. So this is the yearly debt tracker. This is not really a page that I use. I'm going to be honest with you. I do have debt, as we all know. I'm just not tracking how much I'm paying towards it or whatever. But this is sort of the only big note to debt that will be in the planner. Again, all the months, January, February, they've all been taken out, and all it says is month and then a space for you to write your own month in there. So again, you can start it at any point. Each box is exactly the same, and take July. So the starting debt that you had in July, say it was £2,000. The amount added to debt, so say you added an extra £500 to debt, you would put 500 in there. If you then pay 250 towards your debt, you pay there, and then debt remaining would be whatever your debt and if any interest, you know, that you had in. So because obviously if you pay 250 towards a debt, it's not necessarily going to leave 250 down. So the last one I didn't have, it was a bit confusing, so I hope that makes it a little bit clearer. Budget with Bliss, there's Highland cows all the way through the book. Just they get better, they get cuter. So yeah, I hope that makes that clearer, but as I say, it's not a page I use, so any feedback on that page would really help for next year's planner as well, to make it easier for others to use if you wish. So then this is the start of month 1, so January or whenever you want to start the book. I haven't put any months in it so that you literally can start it at any point. Yeah, isn't he so cute? We all know I have my obsession with cows, but isn't he just lovely? So I've also tried not to theme them too much either, so that it's not an obvious Christmas one or whatever, you know. So then we start into the month. So at the start of the month, I find this really helpful, is a monthly calendar. Again, completely undated, so you put your own day of the week that you start. So if you start the day of your week on a Sunday, or if you start it on a Tuesday or a Saturday or whatever, you can start your calendar week there. So it's different to like a normal calendar that's standard days. And then the dots, you put your numbers in. This side, and there's plenty space, they're really quite big boxes. This side we have three columns, sorry, birthdays and events. I have been putting the birthdays for the month in there, but I'm thinking I'm going to put the birthdays for next month in there, just so that I know what I'm working towards, if that makes sense. So any birthdays or events for next month, I think I'm going to pop in that box, as opposed to the ones that are in there, because they'll already be in my calendar. Month's goals, so if there's any goals you want to hit, you pop them in there, and then any just extra notes just to go into this one. I don't know if you can see, but at the bottom here we have two little lines. So last year I had my own quotes, but I thought I'm just going to end up, Zara, I'm having a problem with it going blurry, so I really don't know kind of what to do. I will do another video later to try and clear it up, and hope that helps, but I hope you can see enough. Down here it says this month's positive quote, so you can write your own quote if you like in there, or leave it blank, whatever, but it's just rather than me give you a quote, you know, we all have our own favourite quotes and ones that'll help us over having a rubbish month or whatever. We'll put our own quote in there that'll help motivate us. I thought that would be better. And then over here, this is something that will be fixed in the next planner, and the planner you'll get, I mean, and it says what will motivate me this month. So again, just another little jaunt to you, just to kind of push you in the right direction to stick to your budget, or you know, how you can stick to your budget. So that will be moved over slightly, so it won't be off into the bars. So that is the monthly calendar. So again, every month has this layout. Then we move into, now this was requested, again, not something I'm probably going to use, this page, because I do weekly budgeting, but some people are asking for a month overview and then they would go into their weekly budgeting. So we have a month overview, so it's basically just kind of a bigger budget sheet that you can do for the whole month. So at the top here we have income source, so that I've only got 4 boxes, but if you get your wages, your partner's wages, and child benefit, you would just put what you're expecting for the full month, from each of them, and the total. And this is just like almost like a pre-plan for the month, so you can, in my head, you can then make it more final, more detailed into every week or when you do the next page. I then have bills, so all the bills that are due to come out this month. I hope I've done enough boxes, but so many people have so many different amounts of bills, so it's really hard to know exactly how many, but there is quite a few boxes in there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 24 bills in there in total. So if you've got more than 24 bills in a month, I pity you. That's all I can say. I really pity you having that many to kind of juggle. But again, you just, the expected amount of them, you can go into more detail further on in the book. Cash envelope, so for me that would be things like groceries, fuel, anything that you'd maybe have in your purse. So what you would expect it there. Floss is coming to say hello. Hello, right, down you go. No, you're wobbling the table. There you go. So yeah, so that is what I put in there, and then any sinking funds I know I'm going to use. Oh, and honestly, just leave her. She's now watching the telly, sorry. Sinking funds used would be any ones that you know you're going to use. So if you know you've got a hair appointment, if you know that you're going out shopping, anything like that. Any extra debt payments that you know you're going to make. So if you try to always put £100 extra to debt, then that would go in this column. Again, it's just the expected, and again, I don't know if you can see, but it's on the lines. So that will all be fixed when you get your planner. Then we've got sinking fund savings. So this is the ones that you know we save towards every month. So you can just do your expected. You expect you're going to put £100 away for hair. You expect you're going to put £200 away to your emergency, anything like that. And then if you have savings challenges, if you know, so like if you're doing maybe the 100 envelope challenge, and you know that you've got a budget for £100 for the month to put into that, then you can do that. And then down here we have a need to remember box. Are you all still there, guys? Any questions, please just fire them away. I'm managing to see the comments at the same time, just in case it's frozen. Emily the cow, Lorraine the cow, I know, but I was going to not do cows, do you believe that? And I wasn't going to do cow print either, and I was talked into it. So yes, I need to remember, so that's just anything you need to remember for the month. Use that box however you feel. You know, this obviously book is going to be for you to work to your own way of doing things, so do that. So then we've got our budget week. Again, it's just the same pretty much as what's on here. However, I have and it's pretty much the same as what's in the last one. Hi Karen, I know it's hard to see. I've got a problem with the blurriness and I can't get it out, and I've started 3 times, so I don't want to restart. But I will do a proper video just to flick through it properly, for anybody that can't see it clearly. So this is the budget week. Again, it's the same as last time. We've got the budget week on this side, and then you've got sinking funds breakdown on the other side. I was asked to put this back in because people like to use it, but I've made some amendments to it. So again, here we have the income source, and you've got your predicted and your actual, so you can do your predicted amount, and then you can do what you actually do if you like to go back and look at it or anything like that. Here you have your bills. It is a bit smaller because I'm hoping that every week you don't have 24 bills coming out, but you have them in this page if you're using it. So then it'll just be splitting them down. So hopefully you don't have many more than that each week. Cash envelopes, again, just the same as the last book, whatever you can work with in your purse really is what I envision that one, but you can change it to however you want. Sinking funds used, again, if you're out that week getting your nails done or buying clothes or you know, using a day out envelope, anything like that would go in there, and what you predict you're going to use and what you actually use. Sinking fund savings, so this has got 6 boxes which tally up with this page, and I've left these blank this time because I had them down as long term, medium term, whatever, and people sort of said, well, I have a birthday file rather than a long term file or an annual file or things like that. So I've left these blank that you can do them, but whatever you have in here would be in each of these boxes, if that's how you want to utilise the book. And that just means that you're not needing to, if you've got birthdays, you don't need to say, right, I put £5 into Floss's envelope, £5 in Piper's envelope, £5 in Alan's. You can have it all in here in one of these boxes, if that makes sense. Savings challenges I've then put here, and then extra debt. You've put me on the big TV. Oh, thanks, Lorraine. Nothing like making me nervous now. I'm on the big screen. And then extra debt used to be over here in the old book. I've put it here because it's sort of like a last. If you've got money, that would be kind of like your last thing to pay, because you're already paying your debts by paying your direct debit and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what's going on behind me. Yeah, so the extra debt would be kind of your left, and then your leftover down the bottom. So I hope that all makes sense. It is pretty much exactly the same boxes that it was in last year's planner or this year's planner. I've just rejigged them ever so slightly so that they kind of flow a little bit better. So it's the things that you know, I would probably have preferred to have sinking funds down here, but the sizes of the boxes needed to be that way. But it's kind of an importance to me that that's how it works. So, you know, you have your income, you've got your bills have to go out, your food has to be bought, and then if you're spending sinking funds, and then your savings, and then savings challenges. Okay, so there is 5 of these pages every month. Each page is on 120 GSM paper. I would have liked it a little bit thicker, but the book would have just been absolutely crazy big. It's already big enough and heavy enough. So then we come into, so that's 5 of them, each with the double page. Then we come into the weekly check-in. So this again is very similar if you are second time budgeter, or if you watch my videos, you will see that this page has slightly changed, or if you can even see from the blurriness of the telly. But we have our weekly check-in page. So for me, I like to just check what I've had in my envelopes that I use from my purse, which goes in here, just so that I can kind of keep track on what I'm spending grocery wise, that kind of thing. So again, you just put your groceries. I'm going to put £65 into groceries this week. I've spent 60, so I've got £5 left over. Again, you don't have to use this page because you are going to be putting in your actual columns if you do a check-in here. If you don't check in, I would recommend that you go back, even if you're not doing a proper check-in, but just go back and see what you've spent compared to what your budget has been, just so you can see where you're overspending, where you're you know, where you're underspending, and maybe you can put money elsewhere, you know, that kind of thing. I think doing a sort of check-in, or just a visual check of your budget every week is really, really helpful. And then I find that no spend days, for me, they're not a big thing. I'm not really bothered whether I spend money or whether I don't spend money, but I'm seeing more and more people that are quite you know, liking to not spending, see what days they're not spending, and doing like charts and things of it. So I've made this a little bit more like a calendar. Again, you start the week whenever you want, and then you put the dates in, and then you can tick or put a mark in whenever you no spend, or if you wanted to put how much you spent. The boxes are kind of big enough to write in if you want to say what you spent money on, or whether it was unbudgeted, budgeted, whatever. So yeah, it's not as big as a normal calendar, but it's big enough to write on. And so that is the weekly check-in page. Then we have the expense tracker, exactly the same as they were before. Excuse me while I get a drink. Alan's taking himself to the kitchen. Karen, love the calendar style. Yeah, I'm seeing more and more people on Instagram especially, you know, doing no spend check-ins and things like that. So I just thought this would be, and then it might be easier than going in down the side like I had it in the last planner, because if you started your week, you know, it just never always made sense. So yeah, I just thought that was, use the space nicely as well that we had. So expense tracker is exactly the same as every expense tracker you will find, because there's only kind of one way to do it. You've got your date, your transaction, your category if you use them. I don't use categories as such. I mean, obviously I have groceries and car, but I mean, I don't colour code it like some, highlight all the colours. I used to do it, but I almost forgot, so just something else to try and remember what to do. Withdrawal, deposit, so obviously what you've spent and what you're putting in, and then the balance. So I have got 4 of these pages, which was requested. So some people I think do like a bank account and then do like cash or whatever way. So there is 4 pages of it now, so you should be able to hopefully split that out a little bit more for whatever way you want to use it. And if you only use the 2 pages, you can always just tear that page out and give yourself, you know, a slightly smaller book. So that's our expense tracker. And then these 2 pages again were requested to be returned. So we have the Sinkins funds tracker, again exactly the same as last time, and again just to remind you all that these lines will be within the actual margin. When I put the thing over to the printers, I'd forgot the margin, so that is fixed. So you've got your sinking fund, your starting total, what you add in the week, and then there's a slight line in the middle and what you take it out of the week. And then you go into week 2 and it's the same again, what you add and then what you take out. And then at the end of the month, so there's 5 weeks, at the end of the month you can tally up what you have left, and then you can check with your envelopes that it's right, and then transfer it over to the following month, and it makes it a little bit easier for yourselves. And then savings funds tracker, again this was requested. I haven't got the little lines down here. If you want them you can put them in, but the majority of us try to complete a challenge. We don't tend to dip into challenges as much as we dip into our envelopes, if that makes sense. So I haven't done the little line, but you can do that. And then a monthly reflection. I try to, but I don't always write it in here, but I do try and reflect on my month, just to make sure that I'm where I want to be, what I've done kind of right, and praise myself for that, and what I could maybe do a little bit better, and put a plan in place to do that. So yeah, so that is kind of what I've thought of that. And then as also requested, I have a savings challenge on the back page of the month, which is £10 for each one. There's 5, so it's £50 each month, again same as last time. I think £50 just seems like a nice amount to save, and if you can't afford to save other ways, you can't afford to buy challenges, it's just a nice way to have a challenge and make your savings a little bit fun by having it in here. And then we move into February, which again is not marked as February, but it's a new cow, so therefore it's a new month. So I hope that makes sense. Any questions, anything you want me to go back over? please just say it and I can try and look into it a little bit better. So each month has a different colour, exactly the same layout every month, but a different cow, a kind of similar, because it was the same sort of cows that I used, so there's like sort of similar cows, but different challenges, but all £50. So Nicole, you absolutely love the planner. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. You won't be cancelling your pre-order then. Hi Maria, how are you? I've just gone through the planner, but I can run through any pages again if you like. I'm sorry if it's a little bit blurry. How much will it cost? Donna, I'm going to keep it at 35, but I do have to charge postage this time, so it will be around the £40 mark. I have to take the book to the post office tomorrow with the box that I'm going to put it in and the packaging, just to confirm the price of it. But the book itself is 35 if you buy it directly through me, through PayPal or bank transfer. If you want to pay it through family and friends, it's 35. If you want to pay it through business, which is absolutely fine, I will work out, I think it was £1.61 for £40, but obviously I would work it out to make it so that whatever the business money they take off me, I would add to it, if that makes sense. Love the coos, just so cute. I know, Emily. You could have been drawing all the cows for me. That's your challenge for next year. You can draw 12 cows for me. Donna, perfect. Can't wait to go in. Excellent. So anybody want to see any other pages? Want me to maybe go through it a little bit more? Lorraine, absolutely love it. Can't wait to get it. Excellent. Karen, thank you. Thought you might have, some of you might have gone off and bought a different one this year, you know, because it's so similar to last year's one, but then it needed to be for me because that's how I budget. So I kind of, to really change it all up wouldn't make sense, because I don't budget that way, if that makes sense. So it had to be kind of the same. Can you see the colours of the other months? The colours are exactly the same. You can, but the colours are exactly the same as in my planner that I'm using just now. So I can show you the colours, but then that might give away the rest of the book, the pictures and things, or I can show you the colours in my old planner. But yeah, it's up to you, let me know. But yeah, so we've got like pink is the second month, green, sort of like kind of green, is the third month, a rainbow print is the fourth month. I think you'll pass on that challenge. Now, pink is the fifth month, light purple is the next month. I've lost my sixth month. A nice bright yellow is the seventh month. Kind of a nice, I don't know, kind of a bright blue for the 8th month. Teal for the 9th month. That's hard to say. Orange for the 10th month. Black and grey, so there's a lot of grey in here as well, because obviously you're going to have black. And then green is for the 12th month. Is it date January to March? There's absolutely no dates, no numbers in it at all, Maria. I'll quickly show you the first month just now. Thanks, Emily. Yeah, so I'll just quickly show you. I do have to, the planner that I'm getting, this next proof, so I've had, this is my first proof, I've got another proof coming, but it will have some changes to what's in here. But yeah, so these January, February, March at the top here will all be come along, so that's for all your direct debits and things like that. That will all be gone, so it'll just be blank squares at the top here, and you can start whenever you want. So if you didn't want to start till March, you can put March in this first box. And then on this is sort of like a debt tracker. I will do another video because I think this one might be a little bit blurry, just going through it all again, but maybe in a few days. This, all the months on here will just say month, and then it'll be blank, and you can write your own month. So again, you can start it whenever, and then the start of each month, or the start of each 12 segments, is just a picture of a cow, and then no dates or anything like that. So technically this would be January or month 1, but it's got nothing in it. And then the calendar is completely undated, as well as there's no days in there. So if you start your budget on a Saturday, you can start your month on a Saturday. If you start it on a Tuesday, you can start your month or your week on a Tuesday, and then you put your own dates in. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, Maria. Budgets and bravery, excellent. Thank you so much for messaging. Oh, excellent. I will look forward to that message. Little Petal. You were in the shower. Sorry. I was going to message you, but I didn't. But yeah, so that is the planner. I'm absolutely loving this print just now, so that's why it's featured on the book, because I wanted to keep the months, because there was no months, I wanted to keep it the same as last year for this book, and then maybe change it out next book if I do a book in 2025. Yeah. Any other questions before I go and unlock Alan from the kitchen? Piper's here too. She's just sitting watching me. Don't know what Alan and Floss are in the kitchen. It's fab, Jules, well done, and love the room you give for the envelope. Some of us have a lot. Yeah, it's really hard, isn't it, to know, like, some people have very minimal envelopes, and some people have an envelope for absolutely everything, and some people combine certain things and things like that. So yeah, it's kind of difficult, but I've tried to kind of put as much, I mean, it's pretty much the same as last year, but I want to make sure I didn't miss anything that was important, and that's why I've added the extra, this is why they added this extra no spend part, because I noticed over the last few months anyway that this was a big thing. So yeah, that's why I've put that in. But the rest of the book, apart from slightly different layout of the budget, it's still exactly the same, still everything in it that people liked, and all the feedback I got, there was nothing. The only negative feedback that I got, actually, which wasn't negative at all, but was that you wanted more. Somebody's just messaged me saying, sorry I missed your live, I'm watching Emmerdale. One of my friends. So yeah, the only thing was they wanted more expense trackers. And obviously I've now done the 2 pages, and if you don't want the second page, which I probably won't because I always forget to do my expense tracker, but yeah, you can rip it out if you make the book a little bit smaller for yourselves. Oh, and I also did go with the card cover. It's exactly the same as last year's one. So as you all know, I do my budget. I look at my budget all the time, permanently at my budget book. It gets carried about from sofa to desk. It's not just sitting on a desk all the time. And it's exactly the same cover as this, but there's like very minimal wear and tear on it. A little bit just there. Sometimes it comes out of the edges here, but I think that's every coil would do that anyway. But yeah, the book is all pretty much as is. So oh, sorry Charlotte, yeah, I started, this is the 3rd time of starting it, so you're probably glad you missed the start. But yeah, well, thank you very much, John, that's really sweet of you to say. So yeah, so that is it. It's so nerve-wracking actually, you know, bringing out something like that, but I really do appreciate all the love and all the people that want it to pre-order it. I really do appreciate you all, so thank you very much. But yeah, so I'm going to go now. Feel terrible for you, Charlotte, that you're only just joining, but you can rewatch it. But if it is blurry at all, once I rewatch it away from here, I will I'll do another video just to have on YouTube. make it a bit easier for everyone. But so excellent. Okie dokie, guys. I'm going to go and take those two out of jail. I don't know. So thank you so much for being here, and I will catch up with you all very, very soon. Take care. Bye bye.